So, in the unit 1, up till now we have studied about the types of stability and seen its classification. We have also developed the dynamic equation of the synchronous machine consisting of G parameter, that is the rating of the synchronous machine, H as inertia constant, and from that we have derived the kinetic energy equation of the synchronous machine. Then we have also developed the swing equation for a single machine connected to infinite bus system. In the second part, it is the swing equation, small signal stability analysis, large signal stability analysis, and need to see few numericals on small signal stability, on signal stability. Up till now, till the module 2, we have completed swing equation, and in this module, we are going to start from small signal stability analysis. Third part deals with the equal area criterion method, that is the graphical method for analysis of the stability. Then we will like to see the three effects, that is critical clearing time, critical clearing angle, and sudden change in the mechanical input to the synchronous machine. Finally, in the fourth part, it is the single machine connected to infinite bus systems stability, then how the single machine can be converted to a two machine connected to the infinite bus multi-machine system, and the systems which consist of numerous generators which are coherently swinging. So these we are going to say in part 4. Then we would like to also see some numericals on the solution of the swing equation, that is using Euler's method or point by point method. So module 3 objective of power system stability is, first we will like to see quickly recap of module 2. Then we will go on small signal stability analysis, and we will like to see some numericals over the small signal stability. So in the module 2, first we have derived and developed dynamic equation of the synchronous machine in per unit. That is, we have developed the kinetic energy of the synchronous machine, that is half m omega s. Then we have derived the swing equation. From the dynamic equation of the synchronous machine, we have developed the swing equation. And from that swing equation, we have seen three different cases, and we have developed the swing equation for a single machine connected to infinite bus system. Then we have also developed the swing equation for single machine coherently swinging to two machine system. So till now we have studied stability, we have classified stability and started with the rotor angle stability problem. We developed the dynamic equation of a synchronous machine, and then we have studied about the single machine connected to infinite bus system, and we have developed swing equation for that single machine and infinite bus system. In this module, we are going to start with small signal stability analysis, that is when a disturbance to the system is smaller. We have seen its dynamism and seen swing equation, which is second order linear equation, but for small signal disturbance we can linearize this swing equation. So in small signal stability, we are going to study mainly about what is the effect of damping and what is the effect of synchronizing coefficient. So before going on to the small signal stability analysis, we will just quickly see the basics of rotor angle stability till now what we have studied. So it is just the rotor angle stability is the ability of a synchronous machine to remain in synchronism after being subjected to disturbance. And basic phenomena associated with angle stability is mainly it is due to imbalance between accelerating and deaccelerating torque. Second, the temporary surplus energy which is stored in the rotating masses, that is what we call inertia. And third, capture range of the synchronizing torque is limited by pull-out torque, that is the maximum torque at the angle delta equal to 90 degree, and maybe the stability is lost due to the rotor angle when it is beyond 90 degree. So small signal disturbance is for rotor angle stability, and large disturbance rotor angle stability will lead to the transient stability study. So now let us consider a system is operating in equilibrium condition and all the parameters are in permissible limit and the system is working in synchronism, that is in a synchronous fashion. Now assume a certain disturbance has occurred over the system and this type of performance will be called as small perturbations occurring over the system. Now we know the dynamic equation of a system is m into d square delta by dt square plus d capital D into d delta by dt is equal to Pm minus Pe in per unit. We have also defined in the previous dynamic equation that capital M is equal to capital H by pi f in per unit system. So your electrical output power, you know it is the product of the internal and the terminal voltage by XD into sine delta. This can be termed as total product of EV by XD as P max. It is then can be written as P max sine delta. Here delta, since we are considering a small signal disturbance to study the stability, we have delta is equal to total delta angle is equal to initial delta angle plus the change in delta. So for small disturbance, swing equation can be linearized about the operating point. Here, PE term is the function of delta, a non-linear function. So here what we are doing is, we are linearizing swing equation developed for the small disturbance. So writing the same swing equation, that is m into d square delta by dt square plus d capital D into d delta by dt equal to Pm minus Pe. Here electrical power is the function of delta. Now we have considered a small disturbance for analysis purpose. Then your delta will change from m into d square delta 0 plus delta delta by dt square plus capital D into d of, that is derivative of delta 0 plus delta delta by dt is equal to Pm minus P max sine of delta 0 plus delta delta. Here we are considering a small disturbance in rotor angle. Then you can write this equation as your P max sine of delta 0 plus delta delta equal to P max sine delta 0 into cos delta delta plus cos delta 0 into sine delta delta. Here, after simplifying it, you can write sine into delta delta is almost equivalent to delta delta, since the delta is changing in the sine fashion only, and here cos delta delta is considered as 1. So putting these equation into the previous one, we get m into d square delta 0 by dt square plus m into d square delta delta by dt square plus capital D into derivative of delta 0 by dt with respect to type plus d d delta delta by dt. Then you can write as total mechanical input power minus P max sine delta 0 plus P max cos delta 0 into delta delta. So further here PM, continuing the previous one, PM minus P max of sine delta 0 plus P max cos delta 0 delta delta. Now removing this mechanical input term, we are getting this equation, but only keeping the changed parameter. So we are getting m capital M d square delta delta by dt square plus capital D into d delta delta by dt square equal to P max cos delta 0 into delta delta. Now what is this? This is the swing equation in the linearized form. Here Pmax cos delta 0, this term can be written as psi. What is this psi? Psi is actually the slope of power equation, that is power transferred equation from that synchronous generator. So that can be given as dPe, that is derivative of the power equation with respect to time in the delta 0 form, that is change in the power transferred by synchronous alternator with respect to the change in the rotor angle with respect to time, right? So this is Pmax cos delta 0 equal to dPe of delta 0 by dt equal to psi. This psi is also called as the synchronizing coefficient. This is very important term psi, that is equal to Pmax cos delta 0. So psi is the also called as stiffness coefficient or synchronizing coefficient, and it is actually the slope of the power angle characteristic of an alternator. So we can write the same above swing equation as here m capital M d square delta delta by dt square plus capital D into d delta delta by dt plus psi delta delta equal to 0. Nothing. What we have done is we have substituted this psi in the place of Pmax cos delta 0 here. So and getting these terms to the left hand side of this equation. So we got this linearized swing equation for a system. So writing further as m into d square delta delta by dt square plus capital D and the derivative of the change in the delta angle plus psi into delta delta equal to 0. So this is nothing but we are going to take the Laplace transform further. We are converting from time domain to frequency domain to easily calculate our electrical parameters in the frequency domain. So this above equation describes the dynamics of the single machine connected to infinite bus system for the small disturbance about its operating point. And the dynamics of this system can be analyzed by finding the roots of this characteristic polynomial. So this is actually a second order polynomial equation, and when we try to find out the roots, we will try to classify our system is either stable or unstable at this operation point. So taking the Laplace transform of this equation, this d square by dt square term will give you the s square term, and derivative in first order will give you only s, and this can be simply written as psi. So you get as capital M s square plus ds plus psi equal to 0. So roots of this previous polynomial equation is given by, there are two roots 1 and 2 equal to minus d plus or minus root over d square minus 4m psi by 2m. When we solve it, we get that your damping factor, your damping is very small for normal operating conditions, and your roots are alpha plus or minus j omega. Here, if your omega is the frequency of oscillations, how the oscillations are building up in the unstable mode and how they are dying out in the stable conditions, and when this omega is positive, that is omega is positive, the system becomes highly unstable, and when the alpha is negative, that is less than 0, then it is going to give you the stable operating point that makes the system leads to stability, and omega can be given as root over psi by m. So if your psi is negative, it means that is synchronizing coefficient is negative, means your oscillations are building up in the system, and when the oscillations are building up in the system, it is making the system moving towards the instability condition, and when your alpha parameter is becoming negative, it means it is making the system more stable. So, as I've previously mentioned, for the normal operating condition, your damping is very small. That is, it is very lightly damped. And since it is lightly damped, your rotor angle changes to a small parameter, that is delta delta. So, since it is very small, we can consider that your total delta is equal to the initial delta angle. So, however, with the negative value of the psi or damping, one of the root have alpha greater than 0, because see, there are two roots. One is alpha plus or minus j omega. So, one of the root is greater than 0. So, where, as I have already told you, that when alpha is negative, it is making the system negative, means it is on the left hand side. The roots, the real root is on the left hand side, and it is making the system totally stable. But when the alpha becomes positive, when it is moving towards the right hand side of the graph, then we call it as a runaway condition, that your oscillations keep on building in the system, and at some particular point it totally makes the synchronous alternator fell out of the synchronism, or it loses the synchronism. So such a condition is called as a runaway condition, exponentially increasing behavior. What is runaway condition? It is the exponentially increasing behavior for almost all the initial condition. Whatever you take the initial condition, the oscillations are exponentially building up, and at a certain particular point of time, your delta moves out of this permissible limit and makes the synchronous generator loses its synchronism with the other generators. So next we are going to see how the swing of the delta takes place, and how your electrical power transferred by this synchronous generator is varying with respect to delta. So this is actually your power angle curve, or you call it as a swing curve also. Here your 0 to 180 degree is the generation mode, and from 0 to minus 180 it is the motoring mode, right? So your total electrical power transfer can be written as uh, product of E dash into V infinity by xt sine delta plus modulus of square of your V infinity by 2, into 1 by xq dash minus 1 by xd dash into sine 2 delta. So this second term consists of your quadrature and direct axis component of the reactances and sine 2 delta. So this is for the uh, salient type of rotor, whereas your P equal to modulus of your E dash into V infinity by xt into sine delta. This is for the cylindrical rotor. So here you can see that this is a dotted line, and this dotted line is for the cylindrical type of rotor. So cylindrical type of rotor produces this power, this electrical power, and your smooth curve, which is slightly greater than this dotted curve, it is the power, electrical power produced by your salient pole. So why this is happening? There is a slight change in the power, electrical power developed by cylindrical and salient rotor is due to this sine 2 delta. This is the harmonic component, which is actually increasing and decreasing the reluctance part in the rotor of the two kinds of rotor, either it is salient or non-salient. In salient, the reluctance part increases, and due to the increase in the reluctance part, your actually your electrical power transferred is increasing in case of your salient type of rotor. So this is how it is varying. Now let us consider a cylindric type of rotor machine at any operating point. If we increase the machine input, then electrical power also increases, and due to the increase in delta and the machine runs in synchronism, we keep on doing this until we reach 90 degree. Now, suppose at 90 degree, we increase the mechanical input by a small amount. Means till 90 degree, we have increased the mechanical input and your electrical output have also increased till 90 degree. At 90 degree, we are further increasing the mechanical input. Then what happen is, by small amount, the delta angle will also increases. But electrical power starts falling out or starts decreasing, and so there is a difference in the mechanical and electrical power, so there is going to be certain acceleration. So acceleration will take place, and because of this acceleration the delta keep on increasing. As you can see on the power angle curve, delta keep on increasing beyond the 90 degree also, but your electrical power is started falling. So this will continue like this, and the system will lose synchronism, and the speed will keep on increasing even when we have not increased the mechanical power beyond a certain value. Okay. So this highest point is called as the maximum operation point, that is at the 90 degree. It is the maximum amount of the electrical power that can be generated by the your alternator, and it is the maximum power output that can be delivered by the alternator. And this can be also termed as a steady state stability limit. Beyond this limit, the extra electrical power cannot be transferred. It is its highest steady state stability limit. After that, it loses its synchronism, it loses its stability. So further, you cannot expect alternator to transfer its power. It have reached to its stability limit. Also, one more point in this is, up till 90 degree, your synchronizing coefficient, that is psi, that is P max cos delta, the slope of the power angle equation is going to be positive. See, from 0 to 90, your curve is bit linear in fashion, and so your synchronizing coefficient is also linear. It is giving you positive result. But after 90 degree, it starts becoming negative. So when the synchronizing coefficient itself is becoming negative, that is, it is making the system move towards unstable condition. So we never want our synchronizing coefficient to be negative. So moving further, so here h by pi f, that is we are saying in terms of your synchronizing coefficient, and your h by pi f, that is capital M value, we are writing it here. H by pi f, double derivative of delta delta plus capital D into d by dt of delta delta plus psi into delta delta equal to 0. So d square delta delta by dt square plus 2 zeta omega n into d delta delta by dt square plus omega n square into delta delta equal to 0. Here omega n and zeta you know very well, in your control system you might have gone through. I'm not going into the details. One can go through these parameters of zeta and omega n from any one of the standard textbooks for the control system. So here omega n, naturally we get it as root over pi f0 by h into psi, and your zeta can be given as d by 2 root over pi f0 h by psi. So here omega n, you know, it is a natural frequency and zeta is the damping factor. So your damping frequency of oscillations can be given as omega d. Omega suffix d can be equal to omega n into root over 1 minus zeta square. So moving further. So here you can see the variation of delta angle, that is rotor angle with respect to time. Here you can see that when we have started with the initial rotor angle from delta 0 and input is the PM mechanical power. From here the rotor angle starts increasing, and if it is building up the oscillations, it means that your damping coefficient is negative. And when does your oscillations are building up, your damping coefficient is negative, and finally it will lead to some runaway condition and the machines will start falling out of synchronism. But if the damping coefficients are going to be positive, then the system will become stable at some operating point, making these oscillations die out further and moving the system to lead stability. So here I want to tell only about the damping coefficient. If the damping coefficient is positive, then these oscillations at further point of time they are going to die out and making the system stable. If the damping coefficient is negative, then these oscillations are going to build up and making the system further more unstable, that is because of runaway condition. So moving further, yes, we have come to the end of this module number 3 on the unit 1, that is power system stability. So let's see few assignment questions which are repeatedly coming in INSEM and ENSEM exam. First is explain the importance of synchronizing coefficient, that is how the psi parameter is varying and what is the value of the psi parameter, either it is positive or negative for stable and unstable condition, and what are its adverse effect if synchronizing coefficient is negative or positive. You just need to discuss about the pros and cons of the uh, positivity and negativity of the synchronizing coefficient in this question. Next is explain the swing curve or power angle curve for stable and unstable condition and discuss the importance of roots, damping factor and synchronizing coefficient. Yes, you need to draw this power angle curve, that is electrical power transferred, which is the function of delta, how it is varying up till 90 degree, what is its value, and up till 90 degree, then what are the value of the roots, that is alpha and omega, what is the value of a damping factor, and if the damping factor is positive or negative, how it is making the system stable or unstable, and till 90 degree, what is the either it is positive or negative, that is synchronizing coefficient, and if it is so positive, then what is its effect, what will be the stability condition of your network. So just discuss about this. Either you can mention in paragraph form or in a point form, and you can go through these important questions. So thank you for patiently listening this module 3 of on the unit 1, that is power system stability.